What's up, chuletas? Today we're going to be making one of my subscribers' cake tutorial request, and they requested a Vicks VapoRub cake. If you're new here, welcome to Thalias Cakes. Thank you so much for clicking on this tutorial. If you enjoy fun cake decorating and other cake related stuff, you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other cake tutorials. Alright, empezamos! So first I'm going to create the lid of the cake. To make that, I used 3 foam boards that I cut out and glued with hot glue together like this. And I'm going to apply some shortening on top of the lid just so that when I put my fondant on, it acts like as a buttercream almost, so that it holds on to the lid nice and tight and bright, you know what I mean? Now I'm going to roll out some of this beautiful blue-green fondant to cover the lid with. Why did I do it this way? Honestly, I have no idea. I just did. So if you're gonna judge me for it, and for a little detail on the tapa, I'm making some lines using a knife. And then to cover the bottom of the lid with the fondant, make sure to add shortening as well. Now to make the lip of the lid, or whatever it's called, I'm going to use this blue strip of blue fondant that I had already mixed with Thalias powder so it can harden faster. And I'm going to wrap it around this 3.5-inch cookie cutter. And don't mind the little foil that I had wrapped around the cookie cutter. I just needed my lid lip, whatever it's called, to dry a little bit, a little bit more wider. That's all. So the lip of the lid has this line that wraps around it to help hold the lid. So I glued on this thin snake of fondant and wrapped it around. Now set that off to the side and let it dry for about 2 or 3 days. For the body of the cake, I used a 4x4-inch cake. I filled, stacked, and crumb coated and final coated it off camera because that's just a waste of time. We gotta get it going. We need this tutorial to be fast, you know what I mean? Get straight to the point. Now to shape this cake, we're going to do it upside down, and I'm using this 3.5-inch cookie cutter to help get a perfect cutout. And I pushed the cookie cutter down into the cake, not very much, just a little bit. Then I left the cookie cutter inside, and then I used this little sharp paring knife to cut around it like this. Now I'm going to add a little bit of buttercream around just to crumb coat it a little bit. And yes, I'm using a different color. It's just what I had on hand, so yeah. And then I smooth it out. Now we can apply the dark blue fondant to the cake. I cut it into a rectangle shape. Once it was rolled out, I wrapped it up onto a small rolling pin. And I did this to make it easier to apply to the cake. And then I trimmed off the excess fondant. So I know there's gonna be some people thinking, why would you make a cake like that? That is so stupid, oh my god. And guess what? I'm here to tell you no. Because in the Latino world, Vicks VapoRub is an actual necessity in every single household. Any abuela or any mom would be extremely happy to have a Vicks cake on their birthdays. Now I'm going to apply a cake board on top of the cake and then flip it over. But make sure you put some buttercream on top of that cake board that you're gonna use for the top, and then flip it over because then it'll have something to grasp on. And to cover the top of the cake, I applied some fondant. It is time, chuletas, for another cake tutorial subscriber request. Let's pick it, and I won't be able to do your cake request, whoever I end up picking, until the holidays are over. Sorry, honey. But let's see who we got. We got a Uno cake from Raven Johnson. I don't know if you can see, but congratulations. 4 more cake tutorial requests to get to, and then we're gonna start all over, and then you guys can finally put in your cake requests. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So at this point, you're gonna wanna put the cake into the freezer for about like 15 minutes just to harden up the fondant. So that way when you go to cut it, it comes out a lot more cleaner. I didn't leave mine in for that long. I should have left it in a little longer. I was just scared. I didn't want my fondant to like sweat, but it actually wasn't going to sweat, so it's fine, it's whatever. So because 1, my knife really sucks, and 2, I didn't leave it in the freezer for long, I had to make some fondant paste to cover up my imperfections. To make fondant paste is super simple. All you need is some fondant and a little bit of vodka. You're gonna use your offset spatula or a knife, whatever, and just paste that back and forth until it turns into like a nice, you know, pasty paste. And if you find certain areas to be a little bit more bumpy and lumpy, just dip your paintbrush in some vodka and go over it until it smooths out, and then let it dry. If you feel like it's gonna need more, then go ahead, put some more, but you gotta let it dry first, girl. Now we can place the lip of the lid on top of the cake, making sure that it's centered before gluing. So I actually printed out the logo with real papel because, girl, edible printouts are expensive. If this was for a customer, I would have drove out 45 minutes and paid $12 for a stupid edible printout, but it's not, so I use paper, and I don't recommend you using real paper for your customers because that is not professional, okay? This was just to get the message across, and so we're gonna pretend that I'm using a real edible sheet. So I'm going to wet the base of my cake and then stick on my edible printout. All right, we're almost done here, right? Stick with me. I'm gonna wet the corners and place in a snake of fondant around to hold in the VapoRub cream that's gonna go inside so that there's no leakage. Oh, and I added this piece of foam board inside just to give it a little bit more height, you know? So for the VapoRub cream, I thought it'd be really smart to use piping gel, because if you use piping gel, it looks very similar to the actual cream that's inside of a VapoRub thing. So carefully, I'm going to place that in the center and spread it out slowly using my offset spatula. And if you don't know how to make it, just Google it, look it up on YouTube, Pinterest. There's a bunch of recipes out there. And as kids, we grow up eating that stuff because it's so good. It's really love like that nice minty taste. So good. I think we've all done it, and I literally feel like that's the reason why our abuelas and our moms are like obsessed with Vicks. Now, maybe not all, but most. I'm not joking. If you have a headache, if you break your leg, if you're going through a heartbreak, you're getting Vicks. That's just how ridiculous it is. And if you want to be a little extra, add some mint flavoring to the piping gel so that it can be like the real deal. And that's it, mira pa allá un Vicks VapoRub cake. Big thanks to Leslie, Ashley, and Rosie for requesting this tutorial. It was super fun to make, and I know some of you Latinas would make a good use of this tutorial for your abuelitas. To be honest, I really think that your abuelitas would really enjoy this cake. It'll make them smile so much that the dentures will come out. I would really love to see this cake recreated, so please tag me on my Instagram if you do, because I would like to share it with everybody else as well. Question: as a kid, what was something really weird that you ate growing up that wasn't like even edible? Like, for example, some people really like to eat chapstick or VapoRub, like I was talking about. I'll be leaving my answer down below. There's a couple of stuff that I've done, but this one's extra nasty. Anyways, if you love your girl and you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video up to 100 thumbs ups or more. You know, more is better. And if you would like to become part of the Chuleta family, click over here on the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more cake tutorials like these. And go ahead, check out my last week's video and click over here for this video. I don't know which one I'm gonna put here, but there's gonna be a video here. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Okay, it's time to go sniff some VapoRub.